Welcome back, YouTube. Focused Hands here. So we're picking up on where we left off from the last video, so we can do a little bit more work. What I've done up to this point is I've went ahead and I rubber capped these exhaust ports on, and I'm going to show you that quick clip right now. All right, so we're going to take one here, and there's just enough room in here to fit this on. So we're gonna slide that on. Oh yeah, perfect fit. So those 532s, perfect fit. It was worth it. It was worth the $8 for the kit. I will be using these for other things in my bills. Slide this down in there. Such a snug fit. All right, so what a relief. That answers that question. I can do a better job of plugging this one with one. Let's see. Will this one work? This one might work. Oh, it's too big. This one's too big. And that one is the 5/16. So let's drop down to the fourth or the quarter. See if the quarter will get us there. And the quarter does. The quarter gets us there, and it's not as bulky as this one. This one's pretty bulky. But anyway, that does it for that. Now we will continue on to installing the transmissions and whatnot. So stay focused. All right, so on today's task, I need to torque these to spec, these flywheel bolts. I'm gonna torque all those to spec, and then I'm going to install the clutch kit on the car to show people that haven't done it how to do it and find the torque specs for that as well. I went with specs mainly because I wanted a comfortable ride, something like, stock feel, and specs was pretty good for the price. So, clutch kits aren't cheap. So yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this open so you can see it. Let's go here. Yeah, so here we go. Got the nice little clutch kit. It's pretty heavy too. Like my goodness, struggling to get it out. It's nice and blue. That terrible alignment tool. I'm going to use the metal one. Let's get it all unboxed and get this stuff torqued in. Continue. All right, so Haynes manual states that the flywheel bolts that you see here, you need to torque it in 3 steps, 37, 50, and 83 foot-pounds of torque. So let's do that. So now that we got that torque, I just want to again point out what you're going to need. You're going to need, if you want to do this without stripping any of the bolts, you can use a E14. So it's an inverted 14. And what I've done is I went out and got a 1/2 inch adapter, because you really can't find E14s in 1/2 inch. They come in 3/8. So I'm going to make sure that you have, this is the best way, I believe, when trying to tighten these down. You can use an 11mm socket, but you're going to strip the bolts, and it's going to be a pretty, just get yourself an E14, save yourself some time. On the back end, what I've done is rotated the bit around using this breaker bar so that it acts like an extended arm or a second person here, so I don't have to hold both while trying to tighten down and torque the other end. Just use that to your or for your knowledge. Anyway, let's put the clutch kit on now. Take out all these bolts. Yep, I got on gloves because I don't want to get any oils or anything from my skin on the clutch disc at all. pretty paranoid about that. I did really good with the twin disc, not to get any oils and whatnot on it, so I'll continue that practice here with the single disc. And I'm gonna give this a good little wipe down before we get started. All right, get in here, give it a good little wipe. Any of that dust off, as you can see. The idea is not have to come back in here for such things like this. You might as well do it right the first time, or at least do what you think is right the first time. A lot of people have a lot of comments about things. Some just, some picky. Do what you think is right. Anyway, let's go get that clutch kit. Pressure plate. I really got this clutch disc in here stout. All right, so here it is. Here's the clutch disc. This is gonna go transmission side. So it'll fit in like this towards the car. It should have flywheel side on this side, but I guess it's to be known that this goes to transmission side. Transmission side. Yeah. Interesting. Oh, they do got it. Flywheel side is right there. So there's no confusion. First and foremost, I think I'll clean this with some isopropyl alcohol, just to get that surface nice and clean, and then we'll continue. All right, so you may be wondering, so how does this line up with the little spindles here? Not spindles, but little, I guess, brackets for this pressure plate. Well, you want to take it, the pressure plate, the SPEC logo is right there, right here. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. You want to take the top portion of it, which is this right here, and you want to line it up with that hole. So there's a hole on the flywheel. You line it up with that hole, and you stick the bracket indent here. And that will line everything up. You want to make sure that it snaps on, like so. And then you can put all the bolts in, like you see here. Now we need to go get the flywheel, the clutch disc itself, and put it in between here using the clutch disc tool, and we can kind of bolt everything down to get it in place, and then we will begin the process of using the other metal input shaft to kind of make sure everything is tight. So hopefully that helps. I'll show you an up close. So you want to line it up with these tabs. Yeah, they're tabs, metal tabs. Boom, boom. There's one at the bottom down here. You want to make sure this one is top dead center, sort of. And so when you go and look at all the holes, they're lining up. Tab down here, hole here, tab here, hole here, and you should be good to go. Let me grab that clutch disc and we'll continue. All right, so I got the clutch alignment tool. Let's line it up again like we had it. Take it. Line it up into place. Make sure all the tabs are in. And we're good to go. So for my bolts, which probably will be different than yours, you need a T40. Which needs to go over here. All right, so mine, I took the these little washers out, mainly because it wasn't giving me enough space to actually put the bolts on. But that's pretty much it for that. I guess I will go back and put some Loctite on these and torque them, and in a star pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'll go back and torque them to make sure everything is nice and tight and doesn't come off when I put these two back together. But for now, that's in there and it can move, which is great. I will go get some Loctite and figure out what the torque specs are for these, and come back and get this all situated and ready to go. Stay focused. All right, so with further review, the torque specs for the pressure plate bolts are 21 foot-pounds. So like I said, cross star pattern or star pattern, 21 foot-pounds with some Loctite. I'm gonna use blue to match, and that'll be that. And then we'll wait for the last part, which is the slave cylinder, to come in so that we can put it all back together. Let's get this done. While doing so, I'm going to clamp down using the metal input shaft to make sure everything is cinched in nice and tight. This thing has a lot of warp to it. I guess that's the nature of it. Even on this one, let's get you in here. Even on this one, like, has a lot of play. So nothing to be worried about there. Let's bring you back in, and start tightening these bolts down. The reason why I'm doing this is so that this can already be in place, so it mimics having it it mimics the actual transmission input shaft. Don't need too much, just enough. Just like that. And I'm not gonna show this whole thing, give you a little idea of what I'm doing, and I'll bring you back on when I finish. That'll be a lot to have you sit through. Anyway, I shall return. YouTube, so here's everything regarding the pressure plate / clutch kit now installed. Flywheel is installed. Everything's torqued down to spec. 3 steps for the flywheel, which were 37, 50, and 83 foot-pounds of torque, and then 21 foot-pounds of torque on the flywheel bolts going in the cross star pattern. And all of it has been Loctited. I did remove the washers, mainly because it didn't allow me enough space to actually get bite on the flywheel female side, so bolt holes. So I took those off, but everything has been like I said, Loctited as well, so I don't have any care in the world now, because it shouldn't come off. This now slides out with ease. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark the locations of where the transmission meets up, and I can begin the reassembly once my slave cylinder gets here. We'll be back here to begin the final part, hopefully. Like I said, I've been saying for the last couple episodes, hopefully this is the last time that the engine transmission have to come apart for some time. For hopefully the rest of the car's life. That'd be great. Unless, we throw in a Volvo 2.5 liter 5-cylinder engine, wink, wink. But that's going to be down the road. First, let's make sure that we get this going for season 2 so we can actually complete season 2 and move on to season 5 and 3, or 4, and 3, because we got a lot more stuff coming that way. But this is beautiful. The 2.5 engine has been quite the thorn in the side. Not because of the engine itself, but because of the undertaking that I did with going all the way down to the bare lower on the engine, and then learn my way back up. So for me, and hopefully for you that are going to try this, hopefully, like I've said in many episodes before, this is the defining moment, and I'm putting that on myself heavy, of what we've learned. What have we learned in the last 2 years of this channel really taking off? And I appreciate each and every one of you that have been involved in helping me, grow, and, pat myself on the back for helping myself grow, because come on, I had to do the work, right? But the viewers that are watching this, y'all kind of helped progress, keep this thing going. Parts and stuff are expensive. COVID happened. And here we are. We're still kicking it. We're still got our mindset on completing this build and moving forward. So, pat yourself on the back for that, and let's keep going, shall we? Well, with that said, I'm gonna do this with my right hand. Don't forget to leave me a like, comment, and subscribe down to the channel in the description section, and to the channel if you haven't. Posting is irregular because, it requires getting stuff in, and the postal service in my neighborhood have not been super great. They've been delivering packages to other people's houses, and I have to go find it, and not everyone's not as forthcoming with packages that don't belong to them as I would be. So I have to deal with that kind of stuff. I do have that 300 blackout build going over on Instagram, and that's focused_hands over on Instagram if you want to check that out. I will be doing some first test fires pretty soon. The gun itself is actually completed. Let me stop moving around. The gun itself is actually completed. It's just I'm waiting on a new muzzle to come in so that I can fit it in a backpack. I'm going to do a backpack review at the same time when that muzzle arrives, because I have a compensator on it right now, but the compensator adds another 2 inches to the gun that I don't want on there. But that's going to be it for this episode. I will see you all back here very soon for the mating of the two and dropping it back into the engine bay. Focused Hands, signing off. Peace.